back to Rex Arthur show, Rex Arthur TV, and this is the place where we discuss LGBTQ issues with a humanistic approach. We also discuss philosophy and many other views and many things we have added because this Rex Arthur TV is has very many sections. And as we keep on telling you, we have joined Lava River of Thought, Lava Fikir, into this nation so that we can, into this station, not nation, so that we can have one, what do you call it, one station with a very many channels or many playlists, because there are very many topics apart from sexuality. There are things to talk about: economics, politics, and socio-economics, and society and culture, and a bit of theology. I'm not so, I have a theology channel, but it's not, I also removed it from YouTube so that it can be mostly radio and MP3 for those who want to download. So that one has its own station, Queer in Theology. It's now, we are on Podbean, and that's where we are now. The And so that we could focus, we just have one channel on YouTube whereby I do everything, and I merge everything together. So today we want to continue part two of law, the nature of law and legalism. And last time we just looked at introductory part of law and legalism by looking at what law is and the purpose of law. We also learned that there are diverse laws, the economic laws, there are laws on human behavior, there are laws on political behavior. We also looked at the UDHR. Of course, in this series we'll also look at the UDHR, but not now. We'll do that in the when they're celebrating the birthday of UDHR. That's in September. We're going to do a wonderful marathon series on that beautiful document, and we're going to do a very good discussion of the great organization of the world, UN, that formed, and actually UN has shaped history of the world. And so today I want us to look at law as more on the nature of law, because as you remember, this is a philosophical channel, so we are always thinking and thinking. So anytime I get thoughts, I bring forward. And I was now thinking more about the law, and the law is like teaching. When you teach people letter A, you want them to produce letter A. If that child does not produce letter A, in the language of law, he's a criminal. Like if you tell all the children, write A, and they write A, then one child writes Z, you'll tell the child, no, 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 that is not A, that is Z or Z if you are an American. And the child keeps on insisting on writing Z. The teacher will say there's something wrong with this child. Let's put him aside to make him understand how to write. Either he doesn't know how to write or he has not understood the letter A. So, from that example, what we get to law is actually instructions. It's instructions. That's why the Bible, the Quran, is a mix of literature. And some of the literature in those religious books are instructions. Instructions. And that's like teaching, in classroom. As I've told you, you're always, everything we have been taught are instructions. We've been told this is a nose. It's called nose. So you cram and remember nose. This is eyes. Eyes. If it becomes at one time English changes its mind and says this is nose, we will also have to change our mind and call this nose, because the people who are in charge of language would have changed the law and said this is now nose. So that's what happens when people amend laws. They say, like, for example, homosexuality was banned in some countries, and those same countries have now legalized homosexuality. It's just like saying today this was nose, today this is nose. And it's okay, it's part of life. Amendment are part of life. And why do people amend? People amend laws because of certain, they have realized new knowledge has come about on an issue. And in the past, they didn't have good knowledge about homosexuality or transgenderism. Now they have very good knowledge. It happens. People do get sexually attracted to the same sex, and it's not bad. It has no harm, doesn't cause harm to anybody. So what happens? The law that was created that went against that is now changed. So the instruction is changed. So why is the instruction changed? So that now people do not people also change their mindset, their view, their perception towards the thing. That's why even though in the West they have changed and have accepted homosexuality, even in the East, not just the West, even in the East, they have they still have an issue for people to change their mindset. Like the state changes the law, but the churches and religious centers have not changed their instruction in the way the state has done. This is why we call and we support separation of church and state. Because if you are in a country whereby the state is one with the church, what the religion. And another thing you need to know, laws, not all laws are religious. Not all laws are born out of religion. Laws are born out of man's desire to make order which doesn't come from religion. It comes from man's ability to organize himself. Do you know, not only in the animal kingdom, birds are very good organizers. They know how to build nests, and they can even is strong enough. You see? So there's some intelligence, and a bird's brain is not even as big as your fist. Your fist is too big to be the size of a bird brain. But the bird still has the intelligence to make a nest. The chicken still has intelligence to protect the hen. So there is some sense of order in nature. And humans have a very high sense of order in the human nature. And that's why we even write laws. Remember, there are countries and nations that had no written laws. They just made a decree that don't do this. Customs, the taboos we have in traditional societies, those were the laws. That was the legislation. Very basic legislation. No many sections. Now, because of education and because of sophistication, we make more complex laws because we can write them down and we can discuss them. But in the past, people were very basic because life was so basic. Life was very simple. It was just eat, go and dig, sleep, wake up, eat, dig. So some societies were like that, and their type of legislation was basic because the life they were living was basic. But in complex societies, advanced societies like ancient Egypt, ancient Babylon, Mesopotamia, and all of these, Assyrian Empire, Roman Empire, Greek Empire, they were very advanced societies. They were writing. The most important thing that shows a society is very strong is writing. When you sit down and write language and understand, it means you are very advanced in your thinking. And that's what happened to those advanced nations. and they made advanced laws, and they even had the power to colonize other colonized, apart from Hong Kong, civilization. Secondly, China was very vast and is very vast in size. So Britain could not colonize the whole of China because number one, they were organized. They were organized and they had their civilization. They had been fighting amongst themselves for years. So who are the British to fight? They just finished and dealt with them, and the only thing Britain could do was trade with them. But Britain only colonized places that had few people or people that were not as organized as they were. And then their legislations came in to become the laws of the land. So basically, this is just a short video. We're just doing bits. We want to change our system now, not to do very many long videos, just to do at most 10 minutes. So today's thought was on the fact that a law is an instruction. The way you tell a child to write letter A and he gives you A, a law is always done like that. That you, when you told people do this, they should do. There is no law that is written to tell you that do this to do the opposite. They would just, I mean, it's easier to tell somebody do that opposite rather than say don't do this to mean to do the opposite, unless you're living in a coded society. So thank you so much for listening.